Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, or as I like to call it, Jeff Krause Day. It's 57 degrees outside, and we're only looking for a high of 59 today, so we're almost at our high. Holy smokes. How quickly the weather changes. Drove out to the fun this morning. And limbs all over the center, the subdivision there, Shane.
Oh, really? Did you have wind?
Yeah, we had a lot of wind yesterday, but I didn't think it was going to blow limbs down. But I mean, they're small ones; they're not big, huge limbs or anything. But some of the smaller limbs bit the dust, and yeah, they're kind of scattered all over the street. So.
Well, your city cleans that up, though, right? That's their great job.
Yeah, they do a great job of that. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Beavers will come and get them probably.
Hey, there you go. Unless they dry out, then they're not interested.
Yeah. All right. Well, weather today, 50% chance of rain, mainly between 7 a.m. and 5. So to and from work, you'll see rain probably. And mostly cloudy with a high near 59, as I mentioned earlier. And we are looking for wind gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. So be careful out there. It's windy this time of year, I guess. West winds coming out of the west, 14 to 20, but they can go as high as 30 miles an hour. So be careful out there. Tonight, mostly clear with a high around 43. West winds again, 13 to 18 miles an hour. They could gust as high as 25 or 26 miles an hour. So we're going to be in for wind and rain, both for the next couple of days. Wednesday, though, it's sunny and a high near 72. South wind 6 to 11 miles an hour. We don't have any rain in the forecast for Wednesday until the Wednesday night. There's a 40% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a low around 45, and normal wind normal wind speeds there 6 to 10 miles an hour. Then on Thursday, rain is likely, mostly between noon and 3 p.m. Then showers likely and possible a thunderstorm after 3 p.m. It'll be mostly cloudy with a high near 62, and chance of precip is 60% for Thursday during the day. Thursday night, rain likely before midnight, then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after midnight, mostly cloudy, low around 43, precip 70% for Thursday night. Friday, rain likely again, then showers and possibly a thunderstorm afternoon, high near 57, chance of precip is 80% on Friday. Friday night, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm before midnight, then a chance of rain after midnight, mostly cloudy, low around 41. And then on Saturday, chance of rain again, partly sunny, high only getting up to about 60. And Saturday night, slight chance of rain before midnight, partly cloudy with a low around 40. And then on your Sunday, sunny with a high near 67. Sunday night, a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy, low around 44. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty wet week, Shane.
There you go. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Well, temperatures around the area currently, Livingston's 51 degrees, Manhattan is 55, Three Forks 56. Gateway is 54, Ennis is 54, Big Sky is 46, at the airport in Belgrade is 54 degrees. We're right at 57, the high of the day, Shane.
That's the high of the day. I like that.
It's not the high of the day. It's not going to get any better than this, according to the weather forecast. So we'll see.
Hey, 2 weeks ago you were complaining it wasn't 90 degrees already.
It was 90 degrees already. Yeah, what's going on with that? So. Yeah, we're only looking for a high of 59 today. We're currently at 57, so we're 2 degrees below the high for the day. Our poll question yesterday: would you sell your weapons to the government? Robert Francis O'Rourke said, "Yeah, we're going to come and get your AK-47s and your AR-15s, and we're going to buy them back from you and get them off the street." And I'm sure all the criminals will line up and say, "Yeah, let's do this." This is a good deal. Yeah. So we'll do that. So the results of that question: would you sell your weapons to the government? 88% of you said no, we still have a Second Amendment. Only 4% said yes, no one needs an assault weapon. And then there were some other answers that included hell no, come and take them.
Wait a second. I have to ask you something. Okay, now, what's the policy in your country? Because I'm sure it's the same as mine. If I buy anything from a big box store and I return it, right?
Yeah.
As in this case, right?
Yeah.
To get my money back.
You do.
Don't they require a bill of sale? Like, where did you get this? Or did you buy it here? Or prove to me you paid for it?
I don't think so.
Why is anyone saying
all the buybacks are they just take it down there and they give them whatever the fair market value is? I guess I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why wouldn't there be involved in this where you have to have proof of purchase, right? Like,
between two farmers, there may not be a bill of sale.
Yeah, well, no, but you put it down. I bought it from my buddy down the road. He's a farmer.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'd do if I was MS-13. I bought it from a fruit picking farm down the street here at Sepulveda and Wilshire.
I found it in the back of a Ford 150.
Yeah, it was just laying there.
Yeah.
So
it was in the window rack.
Yeah. Well, some other what does the Constitution say? Only the ones that don't work, I'll give back to the government. Yeah, if they don't work, I'll give them to the government. They can buy them back from me. I believe they can pry them from my cold dead hands. There you are, and still pay you, I guess. So, our poll question today, though, is. San Francisco, once again, raising its ugly head. They want to outlaw chocolate milk in school for kids, skim milk, chocolate milk. And so that was our poll question of the day. Should chocolate milk be allowed in schools? And answer is yes, kids deserve a little pleasure, or no, regular milk is better for them, or undecided, or other. The other is, I think this is a racist question. Brown cows matter too. So there you are.
That's very good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's see. From our text line, 478-8298, you can bet the 4% that voted yes in yesterday's poll don't own a gun in the first place. And that's from Not Your Sister Tam. Let's see. They should call us homogenized. Let's see. Okay, we got some others that I'm going to read later that were from yesterday, but I'm going to read them when they came in because the same people are probably listening at that time of day, so we'll postpone those till later. The other thing we need to talk about is that Shane and I will not be here next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I have personal business I have to take care of, and so we're going to be out for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. And
that's right.
But we will be back. We'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, of course we'll be back. I'll be tired of twiddling my thumbs.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's 5 days off. Wow, that's almost like a vacation.
It is a vacation.
Yeah, sort of. So, I still get the text line on my phone, so I'll monitor the text line if you want to text something to us, so why we're not on or whatever. We'll do that. Also, coming up on Thursday, we've got 2 sets of tickets to give away for the football game coming up this week, and they are taking on. Let me see here, Norfolk State, and that'll be Saturday versus Norfolk State, and that'll be at the stadium out here locally, and we'll give away 4 tickets. We're going to give away 2 on our app chat. We'll give away 2 on the phone. So if you want to get a head start with the app chat, why don't you just text touchdown to us on the app chat line, touchdown. And
I like that.
That'll put you in the drawing for the tickets on Thursday. No need to wait. You can get the app chat at AM 1450 KMMS. Just download the app chat portion, and you can call us directly with the app chat. So So all you have to do is go to the app chat and text touchdown to us, and we will. You'll win 2 tickets, or you'll be in the drawing to win 2 tickets, I should say. And we'll give away 2 in the morning of Thursday on probably between the 7 and 8 o'clock hour.
There you go, buddy.
All right. Now then, moving on. Well, moving on to farmers and ranchers and stock drivers and
that's right.
Whoever else, NASCAR drivers, whoever brings you food, booze, or clothing. Or
makes your life easier.
Or entertainment. Yeah, makes your life easier. That'll be it. All right. So we got to take care of these folks. We got a report from Headwaters Livestock. They're having a sale. Of course, Cashman Nursery wants to talk to you. And, of course, if you got a timeshare, Wesley Financial will tell you how to get out of that timeshare. So we'll be right back right after this. 23 minutes after the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17, 2019, 56 degrees outside. Tommy Gallup, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane from our text line. Get a board op and let Shane solo for time off. You want to do that, Shane? You want to be on solo?
No, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, you forget we are at Town Square Media, where they're not gonna put any money in this station for a board op. So
I don't think so.
In fact, they're just happy. They're just happy. I'm gonna lose 3 days' pay not being here. So they're gonna mark that up as a win.
Wow.
So, all right, let's see what else we got going on. On this day in history, of course, 1787, the U.S. Constitution was completed and signed by a majority of delegates attending the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. Big day for the USA.
Yeah, and a remarkable document. As you said, they took 4 months to debate the Constitution, written by Madison, Jefferson, and Hamilton, and it's physically 28 inches long, 23 inches wide, written with a goose quill on what was called vellum, which was basically calfskin, and following a speech by the great Benjamin Franklin on September 17, 1787, 39 delegates endorsed and submitted the Constitution to the Congress of the Confederation. And Alexander Hamilton, of course, signed it first. And then, unlike the Declaration of Independence, he allotted space underneath at the bottom for the states' names to be written in. He wrote them in himself. Pretty neat to see in Washington. They have a specific documents building in Washington for you to go see the Declaration. But fascinating. So then they went on, of course, to send it to the states. The first to ratify it was Delaware. It was ratified September 25th, 1789, and then they sent the Bill of Rights, which were not part of the original Constitution, to be approved by your states, and they were finally approved on December 15th, 1791. But now, guess this, you're going to love this. How many rights were considered for them to review for the amendments? How many amendments do you think were proposed, of which, the original 10?
50.
11,539.
How many people came up with 11,000?
The delegates. 11,000.
Oh, okay. All the delegates decided to put theirs in, so.
But but they 11,539.
So they whittled it down to 10, huh?
Yeah, from 11,539. So I'm wondering if, there's some kind of an amendment there for, trimming your toenails or something.
That must be. I don't know. I'm sure there's something against automatic weapons in there, probably.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
And chocolate milk in schools.
Yeah.
So. All right, 1907 on this date, Warren Burger, the 15th Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, was born in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, and Warren Burger, big name in the during his time on the bench. A lot of big cases came by.
1969 to 86. 15th Justice of the United States since Byrd. And,
Mm-hmm.
you just, 15. That's, it's amazing that in almost 200 years,
Mm-hmm.
that's how few you'd had, obviously, because they live a long time. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Being a lifetime appointed judge too. That's pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's life. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
unless you
right.
decide to quit. But
Yeah, and
hmm
and he served on the Warren Court as well before him, so
yeah.
he replaced Warren. But
hmm
and Nixon not nominated, or he was Warren came after him. Nixon nominated Earl Warren.
hmm
But like all these gentlemen, he went on being nominated by Nixon, thinking he'd be a conservative, and all darn guy ended up liberal. Like, it
Yeah.
was incredible. Pretty amazing. These guys
hmm
work so hard to get to that position. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
well, I think this is no, that
They get
no.
all of a sudden they get a conscience.
Yeah, they get well, I don't know. Is that a conscience or
I don't
I
know.
don't know. You get a fear of something.
All right, we got to take a quick break here at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, we got to talk about the NFL. We got to talk about James Forrestal. Who was that guy? NASA unveiled something. Former Vice President Spiro Agnew in the news, and Wall Street trading and pro sporting, all kinds of stuff coming up after the news. So stay tuned for that. And Jeff Krause will be in at 8 o'clock, so we'll be chatting with him and seeing what the dumb things the city did last night, if they met at all. Oh, they haven't been meeting lately, so I don't know what they're up to. Maybe that's a good thing. If they're not there, they can't do a whole lot of damage. But we'll be back right after the news, so stay tuned. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It is Tuesday, September 17, 2019, 56 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of 59 today, and we've got a caller waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, Tom, on your least favorite day of the week.
All right. What's up?
It is your least favorite person to hear from.
It's Jeff Krause Day.
No, he'll be on later. It's Chris Griffin calling this morning.
I know. What's up?
Hey, what I just wanted to point out, you talk about Supreme Court justices, and they are appointed and confirmed because they think they may vote one way and then they don't, or if they vote another way is the way they were expected.
Mm-hmm.
The point being, you may have a preconception of a Supreme Court justice, whether you believe him to be conservative or liberal. Let his voting record decide, because if he is able or she is able to look at a case and make a decision, they believed it was beyond the preponderance of the evidence cited for that decision. And I don't think conservative or liberal justice is a really fair way to measure Supreme Court justices. It makes it easy for people like you and me and the rest of the listeners to say, oh, he's good, she's bad, he's good, or however. But I think if we believe that they are truly Supreme Court justices, and we're not looking at, oh, well, he'll probably vote conservative, or, oh, she'll probably vote conservative. If we start looking at their judicial record as to how they decided that conservative decision or how they decided that liberal decision, if the process they went through meets our criteria of an impartial judge, then I think that's the standard, not whether liberal or conservative, but the process that they went through to come up with that decision.
Well, I would point out that I don't think of the individual justices themselves as much as I think of the decisions. You can go back to the Dred Scott decision, which was obviously a bad decision. You could also look at Suzanne Kello versus New London, was a very bad decision where they took property without due cause.
But Tom, we can talk about the trees through the forest. I'm saying if you look at the forest, you can say that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's a liberal justice.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at some of her decisions, she's come down on what would be considered a conservative side. Yet in the decision, she explained her thinking, and that makes it the same thing with Chief Justice Roberts. The way he explained his decision, the Obamacare decision, I forget the case.
Yeah.
But he went through a logistic process that came down to, I have to decide this way because I believe this is the right reading of the law.
Sure, and I'll agree with that. But you will have to agree that an awful lot of the decisions are 5-4 or 4-5 or whatever. Obviously Ginsburg was confirmed 98-0. But yet the last couple of justices, you can even go back as far as Clarence Thomas, that overwhelming majority has not happened because exactly of what you're pointing out is that we do, the people who confirm these judges do look at how they think they're going to vote. That's why Merrick Garland never got a shot, because they were, they would be willing to let Hillary win and, hope they keep the Senate or whatever. But, they decided they would pass on confirming him.
Tom, you spurred two thoughts, and I've already taken more than enough of your time.
Yeah.
But what you spurred is the pressure of not those near majority victories for nominees. Don't you think that's coming from people like you and I who are actually actively having these discussions?
No, I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
Let me
go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Because of people like you and I pressuring those elected officials to side with their constituents. America is divided, so therefore we are going to have divided votes for good or for ill when it comes to lifetime appointments. Secondly, when people move forward in the judiciary to that level, I believe they should be impeccable of not only the judicial record. If you can't justify any decision I would pull out of your judicial record, I don't care about your moral standing. You could be the biggest alcoholic, you could be the biggest pervert I've ever met, but if your judicial reasoning is solid and sound, you should have the right to serve on that court.
Well, I'll agree with that. But one of the errors that you made was that you assume that the people voting for the justice are going to vote with their constituency, and I would disagree that they're going to vote with their party.
Well, then you know what? It's time to vote those senators out.
That's true. I'd go along with that. But 86% of them go back. So.
Yeah, well, that's the hard part is removing a sitting senator.
That is.
Tom,
I got to take a break.
I appreciate the time. Have a great day.
You too. We'll be right back right after this. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17, 2019, 56 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, is on the line with me in Vancouver, British Columbia. And
I am indeed.
You are indeed. Tom Eagle up, your morning mayor in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Jeff Krause will join us at 8 o'clock. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298. Sounds like he had cotton balls in his mouth, referring to the last caller. Home title lock. Is that Bill O'Reilly? Yes, that is Bill O'Reilly doing that, coming out of semi-retirement and disgrace, doing a commercial for somebody. Bill still has a show on the internet, I think. A
podcast.
Yeah, a podcast thing that shows up every now and then. So, but yeah, that was the Bill O'Reilly. And,
infamous.
Infamous Bill O'Reilly. And I don't know, I miss Bill O'Reilly. I thought he did a good job. I don't know, but
yeah,
I
just. You shouldn't take a bath and make phone calls. That's all.
No, you shouldn't do anything like that. I don't know.
No.
That's Shane and I. We're literally just inundated with marriage proposals and things that we just have to turn our back on, and
I'm a shower guy. I always have been. I'm not
Me
big on
too.
that.
Yeah, me too. All right. So, let's see. Getting back to on this day in history, 1920, the American Professional Football Association, a precursor of the National Football League, was formed in Canton, Ohio, where the whatchamajigger is the Hall of Fame now. The Football Hall of Fame's in Canton.
Majigger?
The whatchamajigger is in
The Hall of Whatchamajigger?
Yeah, the whatchamajigger Hall of Fame for football players. I think it's in Canton, Ohio. I think they play a big game there every year too.
Yeah, that's right. So the American football is traced back to England, and versions of the rugby, football, and or association football. The father of American football would be Walter Camp from Yale University, who wrote the first rules.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting enough, the professional side of it, as you said, in 1920. Became the Association of American Social, and then 2 years later, it was called the American Professional Football Association, and then 2 years later, 1922, the National Football League. And so this is good. I like this. The origin of professional football is 1892. William Pudge Hellefinger's $500 contract to play in a game for the, ready for this, Allegheny Athletic Association against the Pittsburgh Athletic Club was the beginning of original football. Of course, you'd have to consider that the modern era began in 1932 playoff game, which was the first indoor game since 1902, and then onwards to the early 1958 as the first championship game, and then, of course, the Super Bowl after the merger in 1960 of the NFL and the AFL to create the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah.
The game of all games now. But it's still not as big as the World Cup game.
No.
With soccer. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not even close. Not even close.
In
fact, I think NASCAR's more popular, but
yeah,
they have more races than they have football games. But
yeah, 500,000 people show up to those races. That's
I
a
know,
lot.
yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? My God.
Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, whatever happened to the good old days when the facts and the truth were one in the same? Whatever happened to those good old days, Shane?
They're good every day on this show.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Sexual predator Bill O'Reilly selling stuff on radio. How far they fall. Yeah, that's what happens to you when you let your libido get ahead of your intelligence.
Well, he's still getting paid.
Still getting paid, yeah. Well, I gotta say, from all his books and everything else that he did, I think he's doing all right, probably.
That's right. Exactly.
I would say so. But yeah, he. Well, you can look at Elliot Spitzer. He got a CNN job after that, and I expect that Mark Sanford of North Carolina will probably get a gig somewhere.
Yeah, you have this ex-FBI head of the FBI working for CNN. I mean, he's under indictment.
I mean, come on. Wow. Yeah. So, how far they fall, amen to that. They certainly do. So, let's see. What's our time? We better take a break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the Soviet Union and James Forrestal and MASH and, Santo Somoza. Everybody wants to know about Samantha Somoza. We'll be right back.
Anastasio Somoza.
Anastasio, yeah. Whatever his name is. Who cares?
Okay.
He's dead.
He is. Age 68, he died. Yep.
We'll be right back. 6 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17, 2019, 56 degrees outside. The KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. You just heard from the Hayes Dental Group, and they've got a big event coming up this Friday, the 20th. They are going to be doing free dental work, free dental care for those who can't get dental care elsewhere. They're going to they'll give you a choice of either doing a filling for you, an extraction, or cleaning, teeth cleaning. And it'll be for those 18 years or older, or if you're younger, you have to be accompanied by a parent or guardian. And as I say, can't get dental care elsewhere. Patients are encouraged to arrive early, dress appropriately for the weather, and bring chairs, blankets, water, snacks, etc., as you may have to be waiting outside to be seen. For more information, you can call them at 586-2117, 586-2117. And they are at 1226 Stone Ridge Drive in Bozeman, 1226 Stone Ridge Drive. That's over behind the Holiday gas station, if you're familiar with that, off 19th, I believe. And they will be happy to help you out. Registration, again, starts at 7:30 a.m. Their hours are 8 to 5. And that is Friday, the 20th, rather, coming up this very Friday. And free dental care offered by the Hayes Dental Group. This is the 7th year they've provided this. So if you need dental care or need a good teeth cleaning and just can't get dental care elsewhere, Hayes Dental Group will be happy to help you out with that. So good for them. They're doing well. Let's see. Remember the United States Football League, another Trump failure. Okay. I guess. I don't know if he was an investor in that or not. Doesn't really, I guess, doesn't really care. O'Reilly, refresh my memory. Was he ever convicted or charged with anything? Not to, he was accused, but I don't think he was ever convicted or charged with anything. But the accusation is all it takes. You are kicked out, man. That's the Saturday Night Live guy who was invited to the cast of Saturday Night Live. They found out he did some tweets sometime back. Being a comedian, I think you kind of have to take the gloves off when it comes to a comedian, that they're going to, offending people is just kind of a rite of passage for a comedian, I think. So,
well, it's a job, to entertain people, and it's not easy to make people laugh. So you've got to do something that generates a response that people are familiar with. So, obviously, those are going to be things that are embarrassing.
Well, I guess what can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see. I want to talk about James Forrestal because we just got a few minutes left, because I believe there is a USS Forrestal that was made news somewhere along in history somewhere. Or was it just a boat named after him?
Now this is going to get the phone ringing. And why is that? Well, James Forrestal is an interesting case. He was the cabinet level appointment in the United States Secretary of Navy and first United States Secretary of Defense during the war, and by Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. And then after Roosevelt died and Harry S. Truman came in, and after the alien crash in Roswell, after the Roswell crash, Harry S. Truman put a group of 12 together, and he put Forrestal in charge of it. And they were the guys that were supposed to investigate the Roswell crash and the whole sort of story behind of the UFO. Mm-hmm. Anyway, long story short, he apparently goes to Truman and starts arguing with him that they need to talk about this, tell the American public, and no. So then he goes and he talks to Dewey and says, this has got to be discussed. And Dewey says, oh, that'd be great. When I win, I'll put you on the cabinet and you can take care of it. And so Truman, says that, he asked for his resignation after that. Well, that's not exactly what happened. What exactly happened is Truman had him committed to an insane asylum in Washington, D.C. at the great, Walter Reed Hospital. And they said he underwent medical care for depression and supposedly jumped after falling out of the 16th floor window of the hospital. Woe behold, the group of 12 was broken up, never be discussed again until Blue Book in the 1970s. So there you go.
Okay.
Bet I surprised you with that story, didn't I?
I'm very surprised with that story.
So for all For all those people wondering about the possibility of UFOs real or not, and the government knows.
Yeah.
Vincent Forrestal wanted to tell you about Roswell, and they threw him out of a window. Well, that's got to tell you something.
Wow. Okay. I recognized the name from somewhere, but didn't they name a boat after him?
They
Isn't
did.
there the
Yeah,
USS Forrestal?
Yeah, 1954, the first super carrier, the USS Forrestal.
Yeah.
Also the same carrier in the Tonkin Bay that
Gulf
Senator
of Tonkin?
Gulf of Tonkin, Senator, what's his name from Arizona?
Goldwater?
No, the one that died and voted down, I can't think of his
McCain?
name. Anyway,
McCain?
Huh?
McCain?
Yeah, McCain. He was on the Forrestal and fired a rocket off, and it blew up the deck and everything, and he got away downstairs and blah, blah, blah.
All right. Gotta go. All right. Well, you don't get that from other shows. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 4 minutes after the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, 56 degrees outside. We're only looking for a high of 59 degrees today. Going to be kind of cool. And from our text line, 478-8298, we were talking about Forrestal earlier in the hour, and got thrown out of a window or jumped out of a window or whatever, I guess. And the texter wants to know, was there a Clinton around when the guy committed suicide?
No, this was 1947.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure there was a Clinton around.
Yeah.
Remember last week we were talking about that one of the first vice presidents of the United States was a Clinton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Regarding Bill O'Reilly, we were talking about there's a commercial that Bill O'Reilly is doing for KMMS for some home
security suit.
Yeah, protection of your title, your house, or whatever. But anyway, regarding O'Reilly, once the accusation was made, he's guilty in the minds of some, regardless of the facts indicate. That is why the Democrats are the true existential threats, because they will ruin anyone for their cause, like Kavanaugh. And that's from our friend Steve-O. And let's see.
Wait. Yeah. I have to admit that Riley was basically a sexual predator, used his position to seduce women. Mm-hmm. He settled with several of the very beautiful women at Fox.
He did,
and
yeah.
It went on for a number of years, paid out millions of dollars for them not to say anything, and then one finally came forward, and everything blew up.
And wouldn't take the money, yeah. I don't believe allegations are charges. O'Reilly's impertinence was noted, but he has never changed. He was never charged with anything. He left Fox disgraced. But O'Reilly.com and Newsmax pay him more than Fox. So just because a pretty girl in a skirt says you're a perv, it doesn't mean you are. Ask Judge Thomas and President Trump or Senator Franken. You can go there too. So, and regarding
Franken was the exception. I mean, that was a bad situation. That I can't believe he threw in the towel.
Yeah, he didn't do much other than just had a funny photo taken. So that's about all he had going for him.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just commenting.
Go for it.
About that, the guy from the Navy ship. Who'd have thought that Truman would take a playbook out of the Clinton playbook?
You're talking about Forrestal. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you called. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Yeah.
I thought there'd be more UFO believers out there than this. Come on, Tom. I'm amazed.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Also, we talked about the guy who was invited to be a member of the Saturday Night Live cast that didn't make it because of tweets he made that might have been homophobic or might have been racial or whatever. And we were talking about that comedians sort of have a little latitude with language and a lot of things, a lot of topics.
Well, that's true. And even Saturday Night Live, they try to get around even that because they're more satire. They're saying, well, we're sort of part of comedy, the satire part of it.
Yeah.
So that's the other side that's so amazing, because satire can be a lot of stuff, even if you're writing in a column.
Yeah. So from our text line, 478-8298, especially when it's true, makes it more funny. So, so if they're telling the truth in their comedy, that may make it a little more funny. Yeah. So let's see. I think that catches us up on all of our messages here. We've got some. By the way, if you want to get tickets to for Saturday's game with MSU and Norfolk State, all you have to do is go to our AM 1450 KMMS app and get on the app chat and do text us the word touchdown. We've already got touchdowns coming in from several folks, so we appreciate that. MS-13 got their AK-47s from Eric Holder. So that's from our text line, and yeah, that's very true. So we were talking about that yesterday, I guess, too, and we were talking about gun rights and all of that. So so thanks to Bruce from Ennis for that, and we appreciate it. And well, let's see. Getting back to local news, I guess we should talk about. Salvation Army, they're going to suspend a thrift store here in Bozeman, Shane. They due in part to workforce shortage. Can't find people to work in these low-paying jobs. And they just can't afford to do it. Yeah.
It's happened because there's so many thrift stores that are competing with them,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, the nonprofit organization said the store was no longer sustainable, but that the suspension would not affect its other services. It owns the building the thrift store is in at 425 East Babcock, and will rent out the space to other folks. So we'll see what's going on there. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is some old guy talking to a couple of smart guys.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning there, Shane. How's it over in Vancouver?
Today is sunny and looks like it may be a nicer day than the last week we've had that have been absolutely cold and rainy.
Cold and rainy, huh?
Mm.
But today might be a good day, huh?
Today looks like it's going to be blue skies, nothing but blue skies.
Smiling at you.
Yeah.
And smiling at you.
Well, I called this morning to straighten this gun deal out.
All right.
Okay, let me get my computer ready to go.
Get the Constitution and when you get it, let's start with the Declaration of Independence. As you know,
okay.
The Declaration.
Well, but before you do, can I repeat something? I got to do this. I'm so tired of this. Okay. The National Instant Criminal Background Check System, established under law as part of the Brady Handgun Violation Prevention Act of 1993. So this was developed in 1990. Now, since then, they've done 325 million background checks. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is what drives me crazy about everyone on television. Why don't you go read the law that's in existence, okay? Prohibited persons under Section 922 of this law. You cannot get a background clearance for shipping or transporting any firearm or ammunition in interstate or foreign commerce. Receive any firearm or ammunition that has been shipped or transported in interstate foreign commerce. And a prohibited person is one who has been convicted of court of any crime, is under indictment for any criminal punishment, is a fugitive from justice, and an unlawful user of addicted to any controlled substance, that's drugs or alcohol, has been educated a mental defective or committed a mental institution, and it goes on and on. It's already on the books what they're talking about doing. It's crazy.
Well,
all of these red flag laws, it's already on the books. So sorry about that.
That's all right. That was a good spiel about it. It just shows how unconstitutional that law is. The Brady Bill is, too.
Well, whatever. It's been challenged for the last 20 years.
The word infringed meant just exactly what it said. But anyway, here's where I was going to prove my point about the gun. In the Declaration of Independence, it says that you have a right to change your government, you must change it if it becomes overbearing. Now, if the first step is to try to vote a different government, which we do every year. We try to every 2 years. We try to change that. Then, the second thing is, if you can't change it, the second thing comes in. And that is the gun. The gun is today, even today, the gun rules you and I, everybody. The power that the federal government and the Canadian government have over the people is by the gun. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, in the end, the gun will rule. But the first thing that our federal, our founding fathers did was incorporate the first bill was the Declaration of Independence into our books, our Congress. That was the first thing. But most people, when Jefferson wrote that, he wrote it to the King of England and the people of England that was against us. And when he did, and when he put that in there about the right to change your government, you must change it, it says, was directed to the English people and the American people because of the unruliness that the British Crown was putting upon the people in the confederations here in the United States. And so, any time that the Brady Bill or any gun bill, I don't care what it is, it's strictly all unconstitutional, all of it. The NSA has taken our privacy away from us. They've tried to take part of our First Amendment away from us. And I could go on and on all day about the Bill of Rights. Today, we don't have what the founders wanted us to have. And I think that the founders, if they'd seen what was happening to us today, they'd roll over in their graves. And most people don't realize that the signers of that declaration and the signers of the Constitution gave their lives, their fortunes for that, to keep us free. And if we surrendered all our weapons to the federal government, we would not be free anymore. We're subjects. So I'm saying to the folks out here in Radio Land, these buybacks that they're talking about, like they did in Australia, and Australia said, for Christ's sake, don't do that. Don't ever let them do that. But if we just go by what Jefferson wrote in the Declaration and the Second Amendment, it isn't about the militia at all. There's two parts to that Second Amendment. One is about the militia, and the other is the right to keep and bear arms. And the word infringed, if you look in Sam Johnson's dictionary, says there's 2 or 3 different definitions, and you will look in there, and it says do not basically surrender your right to keep yourself safe. So that's my big rant today, and I'm so sick of this stuff that you see on the television, trying to overpower the minds of the American people. Oh, we're going to have these politicians, the Democrats especially, we're going to have these gun buybacks, or we're going to give the people $1,000 a month. They're all nuts. I think they're nuts. I don't think that any of them is fit to be a president of this country. And if we elect any of them, we ourselves, I don't know what to tell you about us.
Well, Clint, like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I said I'd like somebody to ask these 10 people on this dais debating to become president. I would like all of them to be questioned if they fired a gun. Just that simple question. Have you fired a gun? Yes or no? All of them.
I'd like to question them if they've read the Constitution. I would really love to do that.
Clint, they're all going to say they have.
They're not under oath, Clint. So
yeah,
I know that.
Very good, Eagle Man. Very good.
I'd like to question them and ask them what each one of them amendments stood for, and what various different people said about them. Yeah. And what the founders said. I would love to question them about that. If you want to debate, boy, I'd love to get in that.
Send a few soldiers over there to be boarded.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
We got to find to prove my point here. We got a fine situation going on over in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Iran, I guess.
And Iran, and all over the Middle East, are
And
basically.
Yemen, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what our president's trying to do is try to keep us out of war. Basically, he
Yep.
doesn't want to go to war, but he will if he has to. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
We
But
have
we
an
got-
obligation.
Yeah, but we got China and Russia to contend with there in Iran.
No, they're in no position to go to war.
No,
It's not going to
I
happen.
know,
Yeah.
but it's allies. They're allies.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be kind of forced, like they're trying to force us to go to Saudi Arabia's defense. But the thing is, you couldn't do it without a gun, could you?
Nope.
So there's. I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah,
leave
but
you-
what does it say about Europe after, if this evidence of Iran attacking directly
Mhm.
Saudi Arabia, what does it say about Europe? Oh,
It says that they haven't been civilized yet. To me,
well, they're not loyal to us.
they're not loyal to anybody. They're all. The only thing that their people are loyal about, I'll even say it in our own country, is money. I think money's destroyed everything, but pretty much. But the thing is,
We got to go there,
Real-
Clint, buddy.
real
We're
quick.
okay. Well, I'll leave you with this little bit of wisdom.
All right.
Be sure and keep your gun. Don't let anybody take your gun. Don't let anybody register your gun. That is strictly unconstitutional.
All right. Hey, thanks, man.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. We'll be right back. Shane, we got a caller waiting, so take that away. We'll be right back. 22 minutes after the hour. It's Thursday, It's Tuesday, September 17th. I just wish it was Thursday. Temperature's 55 degrees outside, looking for a high of 59. Got a caller waiting on the line. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up? Barely.
Well, this is
There you are. That's a little better.
No.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, at the time of that Second Amendment ratification, the state of the art was musket.
Okay. I'm not hearing you now.
At the time of the ratification of the Second Amendment, the state of the art was musket. Hello?
Yeah. I still can't hear you, Vinny. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm hanging up.
All right, we'll have to have Vinny come back with a better connection or whatever. So, sorry about that. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Steve.
Hey, Steve.
So the gun debate's rolling, and I had to put some input.
Okay.
Yesterday, Chris Griffin called in, and on both your show and on Montana Talks,
Yes.
he made the point that late Scalia argued for gun control when you guys went and saw him speak.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard one person counter his argument, and it's very, very simple. When
Yeah. Go ahead. Hello.
Precisely. It was misrepresented. He thinks he has everybody in a gotcha when he says, oh, my God, this extremely conservative justice believes in gun control. Well, just a tiny bit of history will let you know why. In the 20s and 30s, we had the mobsters. You know what they had? Fully automatic weapons. It was completely legal back then.
Yep.
And federal government and the populace saw a major problem with the mob having more military power than the government itself. So therein lies the restrictions that Scalia was referring to, something that has, for a long time, for my generation at least, been in place, a kind of gun control. You can't own bazookas. You can't own fully automatic weapons.
Right.
So when Chris Griffin keeps trying to trap people and say, well, Antonin Scalia believes in gun control, he's taking it completely out of context, and somebody has to point this out. We have gun control in America, and it's enough. I don't think that my neighbors should be able to have a belt-fed M60 for any reason. I mean, it'd be great if the Army came knocking on my door, but I really don't see that happening. As you've exclaimed, the weapons that we have are enough to defend our persons, our property, and from a tyrannical government. And that's all I wanted somebody to say in response to.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Appreciate it. Vinny's back. Vinny, what's going on? Hello.
Is this another line?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. When the Second Amendment was ratified, the state of the art was muskets.
Yes. State of the art was
And
muskets.
Also, the really effective weapon was cannon.
Okay.
And cannons are still legal. You can buy those without any kind of a background check.
You can buy a
There are
cannon?
States in Virginia that have cannons for protection.
All right. Well, we need to get one for the front of KMMS, I
No,
think.
you just need to not hire pedophiles.
Well, all right. All right. I got to go. All right. Thank you. Well, we'll try not to. I don't know. I don't have any say in the hiring, so. All right. Boy, our text line's backing up here, Shane. Let's see here on gun control. Maybe we need to be more vigilant and see something, say something. Of course, you won't get that in the inner cities. Everyone's afraid to do anything about that in the inner cities, and that's what that was my point. I agree with the caller. I don't think the U.S. government is going to show up on my doorstep. They may someday, but I don't know. But at any rate, if they do, then what I'm more worried about is some meth dealer, some gang member, or somebody like that showing up with an automatic weapon, and I don't have similar power. I don't have the right to similar firepower to defend myself. So just the fact that I have an AR-15 or I've got an AK-47 or I've got an M1 rifle or whatever I've got, it doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and shoot up the city of Bozeman. It simply means that I have those tools in my quiver, so to speak. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
I was just waking up and turned on the radio, getting ready for work, and heard one of my fellow American citizens telling me what's enough for me.
Okay.
Where in the definition of liberty and or freedom does it have a column or something that says that somebody else gets to tell you what your liberty and freedom gets to end at?
Yeah.
I just just don't understand it, Tom. I have one gun. I have a 12 gauge to protect my house with. And
That's
the reason I got rid of my handguns is because all anybody has to do is get mad at you when you're driving and call the cops and tell them that you waved a gun at 9 out of 10 vehicles in the state have a gun in them.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is say it was a black handgun. Most handguns are black. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. If that guy has enough weapons, God bless him. I'm never going to tell him he needs more. I'm never going to tell him he needs less. I just wish we could get them to stop telling us what is enough for us. That's all.
All right.
All right.
Very good.
Have a
Well
good
said.
day.
Good job. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think the government. A perfect example of government overreach is going to the airport.
Yeah.
Do I need to say any more about government overreach?
No.
Talk about
No.
closing the barn door after the horse is gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're gonna go through my undies and find out I'm not a terrorist. So.
And the other one was that shootout in Philadelphia 3 weeks ago with that drug dealer that clearly bought or got a gun off the street and assaulted the Philadelphia Police Department for 12 hours? I mean, crazy.
Yeah. All right, we got to go. Jeff Krause will join us at 8 o'clock, so we'll stay tuned for that. And we've got Montana News, Fox News, and boy, the usual suspects are here. So we'll be back with more right after this. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17, 2019, 56 degrees outside. And Shane, I've got to look at my calendar behind me. No Jeff today. Jeff's out for the next 2 weeks.
Next week.
Yeah, he's out next week too. So
that's why we have no list for him today.
That's why we have no list for him today. So I apologize for that. We've been talking about Jeff being here, and Jeff will not be here today. So apologize for that. But he did let us know that he is not going to be here. So So we'll have open lines. Why not? All right. Well, let's catch up on our text line because we got a bunch of things going here. We've been talking about a lot of different things. We've been talking about the Salvation Army closing their facility, their thrift store. And we've got somebody who used to work there. Even after they raised the wage to $9.50 from $8.15, Salvation Army has a cap on hours at 25 hours. The other thrift stores around here can't keep up with their donations as it is. So much money in the county, people donate a ton of stuff at the time. The working conditions of the warehouse were not good. They didn't raise the wage enough because they didn't want to put money into the remodel. So I would go along with that. I wanted my job back, but the girls there were saying how the new lieutenants are really strict. So no fun to work there, I guess. So, who's going to give out free sack lunches to the street people, and who's going to sponsor the breakfast and fork and spoon? Well, I think the Salvation Army is only closing the thrift store. They're not going out of business. And they'll probably still give out vouchers for clothing and things like that. And they'll probably still have the bell ringers out there. And let's see, on gun control, maybe we need to be more vigilant and see something or say something. Of course, you won't get that in the inner cities. I think I talked about that already. You won't because they don't like cops. You'll get a better shot with a sawed-off shotgun, Shane.
Yeah.
You will with a pistol or whatever. So there you are. Oh, let's see. See something and Trump's red flag laws. I can take my neighbor's gun by saying something not good. Well, it's not Trump's red flag laws. It's the states are proposing the red flag laws, not the feds. So please get it straight. It's not Trump's red flag laws. It's the states are putting that into place. So
And we should make this analogy. You know, it's like the environmental department. You know, in the United States, the federal environmental department.
mm-hmm.
Every state has environmental departments. Montana does,
Right.
And every
DEQ.
state has gun laws of their own on the books. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, all these, you know, this whole discussion about red flag laws is a misdemeanor. It's a misdirection.
Mm-hmm.
The laws are already on the books. We've covered it. We've documented, and it just, you know, it's just misdirection not to deal with like the USMCA treaty to pass or
Right.
other things that need to be done.
Yep. Tell them the sawed-off is totally illegal, and that would be right. A sawed-off shotgun is illegal, only if you're caught. Only if you're caught, though. I think.
No, a short-barreled shotgun is illegal.
Yeah. If
Oh,
you
really?
cut the barrel
Wow.
off, well, because you can conceal it. I think is the reason.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you could put it under a coat or something like that if it's if the barrel's shortened. So let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, yeah, just a quick comment. You know, it seems like this is something that no one ever seems to mention. When I was younger, I worked at a hunting and fishing store, and I sold guns, and people had to come in and apply for a federal firearms permit to purchase one.
Right.
And in that federal firearms permitting process, you signed up to not only have a criminal background check done, but a psychological background check done with the AMA.
Mm-hmm.
And what has happened is in the past 10 years, since they enacted the HIPAA Act, the Health Information Privacy Act,
That's right.
people, when they're registering to buy a gun, are no longer subject to the psychological background check. So for generations, we were able to check to see if these people had a problem that could prevent them from, you know, having a gun safely. But all of a sudden, with the swipe of a pen, we can't do that anymore. And if there's an increase in people with mental illnesses getting guns and committing crimes, I would contend that it's because of that. So we should probably talk to our congressmen about that and ask them if they think the HIPAA Act has been causing this. I mean, it's easy to sit around and point fingers and scream at each other and blame each other and talk about how horrible the world is. But, I mean, how about we just sit down and calmly assess, you know, what's being done? You know, and the HIPAA Act is something that has probably led to the death of many people because they've been able to get guns when in the past they wouldn't be able to get those guns.
Yeah.
So something everybody should think about. Definitely something you should call your congressman and talk to them about.
Amen.
Have a great day.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. Shane and Tobin on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia. And Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And, well, we're talking about gun control. We're talking about Bill O'Reilly. We're talking about the Salvation Army. So, how about potato guns for home protection, or maybe slingshots? A guy could make a homemade gun that slings a ball of bear spray. There you are. That should work.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Let's see. We should have had Ted Cruz. He never would advocate for a red flag or other liberal gun registration Trump is in favor of. Well, Trump can be in favor of red flags all he wants, but it's up to the states if they want to implement a red flag law or not. So it's not up to Trump and not up to anybody else. So what is so hard to understand about shall not be infringed upon? See something, say something is very close to the practice of the Stasi of East Germany. Well, it might be, but, what can I tell you? Let's see. And Wendy on the text line, why am I running the show today? I don't know about that one. Not sure who Wendy is or why they're running anything. Let's see what else we got here. The women who recorded Bill O'Reilly, we were talking about Bill O'Reilly earlier in the program, that he is doing a commercial for one of our sponsors, one of our national sponsors, and the women recorded O'Reilly on tape why he settled and was fired. He and Ailes made Fox a fortune and cost Fox a fortune with their sexual harassment. And yeah, he did cost Fox a lot of money when he left, because they paid off some of these folks for their O'Reilly's indiscretions with them. So let's see. When the old mayor can't make it, the street Mary will step up. Okay. I guess that.
That's right. It's about Jeff not being here today.
Oh, okay. There you are. That must be it. All right. Let's see. Let me find. Regarding O'Reilly, once the accusation has been made, he's guilty in the minds of some, regardless of what the facts indicate. That is why the Democrats are true existential threats, because they will ruin anyone for their cause, like Kavanaugh. All right. What else we got here? Let's go down to... for Chris Griffin calling yesterday, I hunt with my AR-15, Chris. So there you are. Studies have proven that hearing views you disagree with does no harm, can actually do some good if one's mind is open. And I agree with that. That's why all views are welcome here. Listeners need to hear Trump's critics. They won't hear it the rest of the day. Not all Trump critics are liberals. Some are true conservatives pissed at Trump's corrupting our party. So let's take another phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to say that this really gets under my skin when people say we're having a gun debate.
Right.
That's a Saul Alinsky thing. Control the language, you control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having a gun debate. We're having a continued attack on our American freedoms, our rights, our God-given and natural freedoms. We're not. A debate would imply that we, the people, are sitting down having a civil conversation on what we should do about guns.
Mm-hmm.
We had guns, and we didn't have this trouble in years past until the leftists began to, create trouble and gin up their left. Of course, the left goes out, they gin up their people, and then their crazies on their side go out and shoot the place up, and then they want to take away our guns. And we're not doing anything with our guns. Mm-hmm. So we darn well know that if if the government says you need to give us your guns, we better have our guns. And like Clint said, that I think it's Clint, the guy's name, said that we have to don't ever give up your guns because you're giving up your power.
Right.
But, for us to be having a gun debate, what we're having is a continued attack on our freedom. And you see it with, of course, they changed the name now to common sense gun laws, where it used to be gun control. But are we having common sense God control? I mean, they've been taking crosses off the hillsides and nativity scenes out of courthouses, and they want to take God We Trust off our dollar bills. But they haven't changed that name yet, but they've been attacking that. They've been attacking our culture in every way conceivable. They've been changing our schools. They've been, trying to eliminate our borders, change our voter demographics. It's all leftist. It's all communism, and we've seen what's happened in the past with the same ideologies. Pick your tyrant of the last century. I don't even know the count. I've never gotten a count of dead bodies, but well over 100 million people in the last century. How many bodies do we need to figure out that this ain't going to work? But what we have has proven to work. The constitutional, Christian, capitalist, traditional way of life has worked and worked well. And even where it doesn't work, on the fringes, it's self-correcting. Given like the Indian situation or slavery or some of the major faux pas. But, that's all I wanted to say. We're not having a gun debate. It's just part of another part of a continued attack on our American freedoms and what has worked and worked well for hundreds of years.
All right. Well said. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Take care. Yeah. Let's see. What is so hard to understand about a well-regulated militia? Well, that's only part of the Second Amendment. The other part, as Shane rightly pointed out, is the right to bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's right.
And that is also part of a well-regulated militia, but it's also the right of everybody who's not in a well-regulated militia. So
that's right. And that precedent was set back in 1820 with justices making a decision at that time that not all parts of the Bill of Rights or the Constitution are equal and held together. They're equal and separate.
Yeah.
And that's an example of equal and separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quote from Bill O'Reilly: "F it, we'll do it live." Yeah, that was we did that during one of our parades. we did that, and we of course bleeped out the F word, but that was pretty funny. We had Bill Riley down doing a comment on one of our parades, and he got all frustrated about it. Yeah, couldn't do it, and so we put that in there and put a little. We should probably try that again if I can find it online somewhere. But that was pretty funny. It was fun to do. Religious warfare in the 80s in St. Augustine, Florida. The Christians wanted to shut down the metaphysical shop. They say, if you're not with us, you're against us. Sound familiar? Well,
that's
right. Yeah. It sounds like the letter that some of the Democrats wrote to the Supreme Court recently that said, if you don't abandon this gun thing, we're going to pack the court. So there you are. Let's see. I miss and revere Bill O'Reilly, Reverend O'Reilly. So, yeah, I kind of miss him too. He was set in his ways, but whatever.
Yeah.
O'Reilly was disgusting. When women taped him, part of the settlement required turning over all tapes. He had a great show, but was a creep. Same with Ailes and Gretchen Carlson. Trump only had to pay $130,000 for sex. Fox paid millions. Yeah. Trump's a better deal maker, obviously, than Ailes and O'Reilly were. So.
And it doesn't matter anyway because it occurred before he took off, the oath of office, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Mom always said, don't shoot your potato gun in the house. You could poke someone's eye out.
That's true.
So that's it. Don't shoot your potato gun in the house. Let's see. If you don't think Trump pushing red flag laws influences Republicans in states, he is the head of the GOP, and if he is in favor of red flag laws, they will come. His sheep will follow him off the cliff. Ted Cruz would never do this. Well, we have no clue as to what Ted Cruz would or would not do. And again, it doesn't matter what Trump wants. The states don't have to go along with him. and their own constituents are going to vote for them. So if you think you can get red flags passed in Montana, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Trying to get all these texts that I missed.
Well, while you're looking, look, the bottom line here is all of this talk about guns and everything is very simple. The left wants to get something that they can stick to as a precedent. You know, they want something passed they can stick to as a precedent. That's why I say to people, go look at these different laws already on the books. All this is already covered on the books. And they haven't been able to make any precedent out of them to make them to apply to, you know, being able to grab your gun. So it's not going to happen, folks. It's just not going to happen.
All right. We got to take a break. We'll be right back right after this. 2.5 minutes for the top of the hour. No Jeff Krause today. I forgot Jeff is out for the next 2 weeks. So Shane and I will have open lines. Anything you guys want to talk about? We've been talking about O'Reilly and guns and the Salvation Army, and there's still some local stuff going on as well, so we'll try to get to that. Also, the impeachment of Kavanaugh's raising its ugly head again. Purdue Pharma is under siege again, and so it's going to be a busy day today. So for a Tuesday, what can I say? A lot of folks want to weigh in. Oh, let's see. Everyone has the right to bear arms, as though who aren't part of the militia today may decide to be part of a well-regulated militia tomorrow, and that may be true. Let's see. What would be different with Ted Cruz as president of the United States versus Trump? Less stupidity and corruption. Well, I haven't seen too much corruption out of Trump, but maybe so. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when Nadler gets through playing around with him. Right. Excuse me. All right, top of the hour. Open lines for the next hour, so anything you guys have on your mind, we'll be happy to entertain your thoughts. So stay tuned, and we'll be back after Fox News, Montana State News, Burke Foster weather, and a bunch of other things. So stay tuned. Shane and I will return, believe it or not. In spite of your cards, letters, and phone calls, we will be back. So thank you, Dan. 6 minutes after the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17th, 2019. It's 56 degrees outside. We're only looking for a high of 59 today, so it's going to be somewhat nasty today, Shane. Let's see. Talking about our forecast, we got a 50% chance of rain today, mainly between all day long, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a high near 59 today. Winds could go up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 43. And again, wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour tonight. And on Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with a high near 72. And on Wednesday night, 40% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a low around 45. And not much wind there. Thursday, rain likely between noon and 3 p.m., then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after 3 p.m. High of 62, chance of precip on Thursday, 60%. And on Thursday night, chance of precip is 70%, low around 43, rain likely before midnight. So that'll get you up to speed on your forecast here for the next few days. From our poll question yesterday, would you sell your weapons to the government? 84% said no. We still have a Second Amendment. They're not selling back to the government. Only 3% said yes, no one needs an assault weapon. And we had some other comments. Our poll question today is San Francisco decided that maybe chocolate milk wasn't good for you, too much sugar, whatever. And so should chocolate milk be allowed in schools? 60% of you say yes. 2% are undecided, and only 6% say no. Regular milk is better for them. So 60% say, yeah, give the kids a break. Give him a little sugar. Jeez.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Don't be that way. All right, from our text line, we've been talking, if you're just joining us, we've been talking about Bill O'Reilly has been doing a commercial for us, so there's a lot of comments about Bill O'Reilly and also the gun control, red flag laws, all things like that. And we're also talking about the Salvation Army closing their thrift store here. And so from our text line, we need more AM stations here in Bozeman. I can get Helena on CKBI out of Canada, so bring back 1090. Well, maybe they'll bring it back. I don't know. That's out of my hands. So saying that guns are responsible for killing people is like saying a fork is responsible for making Rosie O'Donnell fat. Well, that would be true, I think.
That would be true.
That would be true. A gun is a tool, not a whatever. Regarding the Bill O'Reilly, who cares? He still had a great show. I think Fox could do better on their radio headlines. Sometimes, or it seems as if they're focusing too much on what Dems say. Maybe they really need to pick a side. Heck, all the other ones are definitely inundated into radical slop. So, not much doubt what that comment means, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to comment. So one thing I do spend a lot of time reading about is science and astronomy, and I just want everyone to know that 2 studies released last week by major institutions and NASA.
Mm-hmm.
They found a planet. It was a discovery of a water vapor world through the use of the Hubble telescope. So there are other water worlds out there, folks, that are in that realm of the space between the sun and the rest of their solar system. The Goldilocks theory. So
yeah.
it looks like holds true. The Goldilocks theory is alive and well in other solar systems beyond ours.
Well, good. From our text line, 478-8298, seems like the corruption the corruption word is thrown around without any proof. Another AM station from 8 to 11. Okay. Hey, buy it and put it up. You haven't seen Trump corruption because you closed your eyes and refused to read the Mueller report. People are in jail. Well, all the people that are in jail for things they did. Not things they did in conjunction with Trump, and
not only that, but they're process crimes. There's only one person that was taken to court, and he was in solitary confinement for 7 months, for God's sakes. Oh my God.
So there you are. Yeah, people are in jail, but they may have been associates of Trump. They may have been friends of Trump. They may have worked for Trump. I don't know.
That's right.
But at any rate, they're in jail for stuff they did themselves. Not things they did in conjunction with Trump. So, and I don't refuse to read the Mueller report. I just think it's a waste of time because what am I going to find in it? What that
money, and a waste of $40 million. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say. Let's see. From our text line, Rubio would have been a better president. No corruption. The media would have nothing to criticize him for because he's an adult. Well, maybe so. But anyway, he lost, and so did Cruz. He lost too. So we had debates. We had people voting in primaries. They all lost. Good morning. I'd like to thank Chris Griffin for calling in and sharing his point of view. It just solidifies that all liberals, Democrats, and progressives are truly idiots and morons. So let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Well, somebody said that I, Aguilar Peterson, never bring any solutions to the table. So here's one about corruption.
Okay.
One thing I do like about Trump is that he doesn't easily listen to advisors, bureaucrats, and lobbyists. In fact, it's been pointed out that lobbyists are really a legalized, visible, accepted, institutionalized form of corruption. Who would hire the foxes to come in and advise the guards how to guard the chicken coop? I'd get rid of the lobbyists. Why can't politicians do their own research? Why do they have professionals from the people they're supposed to be examining advise them? They're spending well, and an answer would be one of the answers. They're spending too much time log rolling and raising money for their next election. So there's a point of corruption that we just accept as real, but it's unreal.
Well, I think our elected officials are lazy, Daniel. I think that they, if a lobbyist comes in from the milk board or from, some pharmaceutical group or something like that, and presents their case, I think it's up to the politician to verify whether or not the information that's brought to them is the right information.
And all members of Congress that you elect are lobbyists for their constituents.
Well, that's true.
I mean,
yeah,
they go to Washington, they enact laws, they fund the country, and they bring home the bacon, projects to their home, projects to their districts.
That too, yeah. So,
Here's another one that politicians tend to just say, well, whatever the party's voting for, I'll vote for. So there's another way that they're lazy. They don't really want to examine the issues for their own intuition. They'll just run with the pack. It's not a real individual responsibility way of treating life.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks for the call.
Hey.
All right. Solution, I guess, is don't hire lobbyists, or don't listen to them, or don't get rid of them. I guess. Okay.
And your system of government was set up so that the House and the Senate would compromise, and that's the whole purpose of going back and forth with legislation.
Yeah.
Is to compromise on the legislation before they pass it, but that just doesn't seem to be getting done anymore.
Yeah. Well, more from the Trump trolls. Mueller said, as a sitting president, he can't be prosecuted for his obstruction, so he can be prosecuted once he's out of office, which may be next November, or it may be 5 years from now. So
that's right.
Rubio and Cruz were honest. Trump won by lying. Well, really, he won by lying. So he went through 17 Republicans by lying, and nobody caught him. Nobody caught him lying. Nobody caught him on Access Hollywood. Nobody caught him with Stormy Daniels. Nobody caught him with any of this stuff, and he still got elected. So you got to help me out there. Rubio and Cruz were honest. Trump won by lying. Mexico will pay. Moral of the story: honest people lose, and liars and crooks win. It's sad. Well,
wait, aren't we talking about politicians?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your point?
Excuse me, you're making me laugh.
Yeah. All right, Trump trolls. I knew many. I knew mean. Whatever. Let's see. Yeah, we did that one. Let's see. Ted Cruz is a Bush baby. Follow his career. He says one thing, does another. Obamacare, he voted to keep it, and after he had already voted to remove it. Follow the money, read my lips, no new taxes, etc. Well-regulated can also mean well-maintained, talking about gun control and the Second Amendment, giving that one could say that keeping firearms is not just a right, but a duty in order to defend your home and your community. That's from David. And I would agree, David. Thanks for that. Some of the things we won't have to worry about if the leftist socialist Democrats win in 2020, treaties, tariffs, and the French. That's what happened in Nazi Germany. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
That's pretty funny. So we don't have to worry about any treaties. There won't be any more treaties, folks. So just forget about any agreements we have with anybody. And, of course, tariffs are going to go away. So I wonder if we're going to get rid of the tariffs we've always had on paper clips and tuna and tobacco and sneakers. I wonder if we're going to get rid of those tariffs as well. So the ones we always had to protect people here. And the French. We got to get rid of the French.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're just rude. They're just rude.
Yeah,
So
They always pick the winning side.
they always pick the winning side. So yeah, I was gonna say they're taught to surrender in elementary school, I think. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Cashman Nursery, Paint Factory, and Wesley Financial. You'll want to hear from them, so stay tuned. 20 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m., it's Tuesday, September 17th, 2019, 55 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of only 59 today. Looking outside, it looks pretty dismal out there. There's no sunshine, and it should be sunshine at 8:30. What do you think, Shane?
Well, I have sunshine and blue skies here, so I'm content. But
You're
it's
content and
still
happy, huh?
Yeah, it's still just like hazy and dark.
Yeah. Let's see. From our text line, we're talking about the gun laws. We're talking about the Salvation Army. We're talking about Bill O'Reilly. We're talking about President Trump and red flag laws and all the normal stuff that's going on. Rubio just had good posture, so that's a good one there, Shane. So
yeah, indeed.
And let's see. I'm telling you, we need to separate the United States into two parties. I'm really getting tired of the other side that lives next door. I can totally see it might prevent a civil war. We get Trump, and they get that chick that reminds us of everyone's ex-wife. We got Montana, they get Idaho.
Both beautiful states. Both beautiful states.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Trump is the only president that tirelessly works for us. The word is unprincipled. Too many politicians are unprincipled. In order to maintain a free state, could that mean a free state of being? Yeah.
A little Nietzsche there.
Yeah. So, looking good. Let's see. I think we're all probably pretty well caught up on there. Let's look at our app chat line. Hey, don't forget on our app chat line, if you want to win tickets to Saturday's football game at MSU here in the field house. They won't play in the field house. They'll play at the stadium. But you can win. We're going to give away 2 tickets on the app chat, and we're going to give away 2 tickets on the air. So if you want to be in the drawing for the app chat tickets, just text us touchdown with the app chat at KMMS, AM 1450 KMMS on your smartphone app. Right next to the listen button is the app chat button, and sign up for that. And just text us the word touchdown, and you'll be in the drawing, and we'll do that on Thursday. And you'll be in the game on Saturday. So sounds good. All right. We got a phone call patiently waiting, Shane, I think. Are you there, caller?
I'm there, caller.
All right, what's up?
Okay.
Sorry.
Morning, gentlemen. Great show again. Always a great show. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
This is Jerry. By the way, have we heard anything in the news other than the impeachment that they want to do against Kavanaugh, against Trump again, dredging up all this past stuff that's not going to do any good to them? What concerns me more than anything is this strike against Saudi Arabia by Iran.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a key issue that should be discussed ad nauseum, in my opinion. This was
agreed.
This is a precise strike with a number of missiles that are, to me, is a precursor to what they can do in the future.
Yeah, 17 targets, I think, hit pretty easily.
Exactly, and they're ramping up to make it even worse. They're testing ICBMs that can even reach the continental United States, which is scary in my opinion. I mean, I'm not.
Well, that's Iran you're talking about. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is serious stuff, and what's scary is the trillions, literally, that Saudi Arabia has done to protect itself and build its military. It's a country of 35 million people, 50% of who are under 25. I wonder how serious they are about their religion. But the thing is it's scary that one of the second largest reserves in the world of oil are so vulnerable to modern warfare. I mean, if they can do this damage with some drones and cruise missiles, it's a this is huge, and people should be talking about it now. On the reverse of that, because of what your president's done the last 2 years, you're out of reach now because you don't need to worry about it. You don't need the oil from there. I mean, the only reason you get oil from there is because of the refineries on the Texas coast. They developed those refineries for heavy oil because the last 60 years that's what they were refining. But yeah, you're oil independent, and you're basically free of this exposure. So it's going to be interesting to see what your military, your intelligence, and your president decides to do about Iran.
Yeah. Well, Shane, it still affects the commodities market, and like a caller said
huge. Oh yeah.
And like a caller said yesterday, it shouldn't affect our prices over here because we're supposedly energy independent.
Well, yeah. I mean, yesterday the price of oil went up, say $8, I think, between a range of 5 and. But if this had happened if this had happened 4 years ago, the price of oil would have gone over 100 yesterday.
At least. Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%, no question. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, would have.
Well, I'm curious as to how Israel is reacting to this. In other words,
they don't care. They don't care because they discovered massive gas reserves in the Mediterranean off their coast. So,
no. Beside that end of it, they should be concerned is, hey, they put a precise strike on Saudi Arabia with that many. They could do the same thing to us. In other words, not in a military aspect. I'm not speaking as far as their how it affects their ability to get oil and and gas. It's more than that. These people are radicals. They occupy half of Iraq. They occupy Yemen. They are in half of Syria. This is an expansion on their part. And
I think it's an act of desperation, and here's why. They've now broken the agreement that Trump walked away from. So Europe should be turning against them. I don't know why they're not.
Aren't the sanctions supposed to snap back in place if they violate this? And where's Russia and England and France and all these guys, all these other guys that signed the agreement? How come they're violating sanctions doing business with Iran?
Well, they shouldn't be because Iran's broken the deal.
Well, that's what I mean. But they are.
But Iran's Iran's so desperate to engage the U.S. and look like the victim that they've done something now that's horrific. Because, we've talked about the Moab, mother of all bombs. Mm-hmm. You drop a Moab, which they have 19 left. They built 20. You drop just one on Krug Island, Iran's finished. I mean, they're down to 400,000 barrels of oil there. They used to export 2.5 million barrels a day. Iran's down to 400,000 barrels a day. You take out Krug Island, and they're finished. They're back in the Stone Age.
Well, I'm curious as to why there's silence out here, in the media. And like you said, the other nations are totally silent on it. Yeah. I think the last I heard, though, the president wanted to meet with some of the European powers or some of the allies to discuss the problem. But
they're all coming to the UN here in a week or so. So I guess we'll see what's going on there. So
and the election today in Israel is critical too.
Yeah, that's true too.
If Netanyahu gets reelected, okay. If not, there's going to be some real issues now.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, the UN is worthless.
It's worthless. I agree. Well, hey, thanks for the call. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. We got to take a break. Shane, we got another caller waiting on the line, so if you could chat with them, we'll be right back with more after the news at the bottom of the hour and some other things going on. So stay tuned. Still got a half hour of your calls and comments ahead, so stay tuned. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17, 2019. Shane Matabin on the line, and we've got a caller patiently waiting. Let's take that call. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, Shane and I were talking about basically what Trump has done. Iran is trying to disrupt the oil flow to not only our allies, because there's a lot of countries that are not our allies that buy oil from Saudi Arabia, but they're trying to disrupt it because of the sanctions that Trump has put on there. But what Trump has also done, he has literally guaranteed that these allies, these people where the oil will, these countries where the oil will be disrupted to, he's guaranteed that they have to participate. And not only that, he gets to dictate how much they participate and how they participate, because we don't need the oil. He's made it so it may affect the price of our oil a little bit here and there, but we can get by without it. So all these countries now, before, who didn't have any skin in the game, everything's changed now.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's right.
So, and then the other thing I was talking to Shane about, which I think is more important, is more nationally, is what's happening in our inner cities and what these Democrats are doing, how they foment violence and they incite riots with their rhetoric and their language. These Democratic presidential candidates get up there spewing so much garbage, so much hatred, so much divisive rhetoric. And what's going on, if you saw it in Minneapolis, that beat down those blacks put on those white guys, regardless, I mean, that's happening in the cities, in the inner cities all over now, because the police forces are not only shrinking, and Shane brought up a great point, the millions of dollars that the cities like Chicago have paid out to people, usually people of color, who have sued the city for civil rights violations for being arrested. Police won't even do it anymore. They won't even go into many places. Why bother? Why bother when the arrests are going to be thrown out and the people are going to sue and they get paid off? So I'll tell you, here's a perfect example, Shane, of how stupid the Democrat leadership is. You don't even hear of Black Lives Matter hardly anymore, correct? Have you heard of it lately?
No.
No. And here's the reason. Because George Soros and the Democrats paid the Black Lives Matter people, leadership, paid them millions of dollars and said, come on, go out there and do our bidding for us. Well, you know what those leaders said? Thanks for the dough, guy. Appreciate it. I'm a millionaire. We're rich. I don't have to go do it. I'm not going to go get in trouble anymore.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay.
They took the money and ran.
That's right.
They did. They took the money and ran. Why if you give me a couple $1 million, why would I go out there and risk going to jail or getting hurt?
That's right.
I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing somewhere by the pool.
I want to know why. I want to know why every Black Lives Matter member isn't at abortion clinics in New York City, where your chances of being aborted as black are better than being born.
Yeah.
Why aren't they there?
You know what, guys? There was a talk show on in Los Angeles. I had to drive to Southern California one time. There was a talk show on. They had a black preacher on. With the talk show, and I think the talk show was that Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm sure you probably heard of him.
Yeah.
Pretty conservative black talk show host.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this black preacher who was pro-abortion had no idea who Margaret Sanger even was. And I called up the show and I said, "Do you know who Margaret Sanger is?" And the guy said, "No,
really?
I'm not aware of who that is." Yeah, I said, "Well, you should Google her.
Yeah.
Find out what they've been doing to your people for the last 60 years or 70 or 80 years, dude. Get a clue."
Yeah, exactly.
And then watch how they try to spin it, because they try to spin it, but you can't spin it.
Nope.
So, hey, last thing, Shane, I want to know if you guys have heard about this. That fire station by the Bozeman Airport, are you familiar with it?
By the Bozeman Airport.
The new fire station they built by Gallatin Airport.
Yeah, okay.
Supposedly, this is what I've heard, that is one of two fire stations in the country that are set up like that one is. That one is set up major hazmat and bioterrorism,
equipment. Yeah, equipment. Yeah.
Okay, and you know why they did that? Because a buddy of mine has a friend in the airport. Now, granted, this is secondhand, but they're thinking that if they get a pandemic or if they get some kind of a disease or something like that, that they can fly those planes into Bozeman Airport and contain it in the Gallatin Valley easier than anywhere else.
Well,
I would think so. Yeah, they could do that.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah,
but it's a little frightening because there's only about 3 ways out of here.
Yep.
you know, and,
That's true.
they thought about Denver, but it's too populated. So
Yeah.
keep moving here, people, so we can get that thing moved to Denver.
That's right. One more reason for property values to go down.
There you go. All right. Hey, great show.
Great call.
Guys.
Thank you, Guy.
Great call.
All right.
Yeah, thanks a lot. All right.
By the way, everybody, gas or oil is down. U.S. oil is down 3.89. Brent in Europe is down 4.48. Natural gas is down as well. So gasoline is down as well. So there you go.
We're doing all right. So
we're doing.
Yeah, I agree with you when this whole thing happened, because we're now the largest oil importer or exporter, I should say, and gasoline too. You know, so.
Gasoline, gas, natural gas, and oil.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to our text line, 478-8298. Tom, don't you know that Black Lives Matter, except in the case of the unborn? What hypocrisy. Well, yeah, they should. As I said, every Black Lives Matter individual ought to be outside abortion clinics talking people out of going in there. So anyway, let's take another phone call, and we got to take a break. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Oh, I just wanted to wave my pom-poms. It's
Sure.
AW here.
All right.
You know, Trump once again playing 4D chess with the Iranians. I mean, the worst thing he could do is attack them. Right now, they're looking like you know, they can't wait to be the victims, and I love the fact that he's not you know, throwing down the mother of all bombs on them. I know Shane said there's 19 left.
Yeah.
I
we'll
love
see.
the fact that but I just wanted to shout out to Trump for not bombing these guys into oblivion.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's as I said, they're coming to town to face the UN here, and I think he's trying to get the UN to say, hey, we've got to curtail these people. You know, we just have to, and I hope he's successful in doing that without dropping bombs on everybody. So
I do too. I do too.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks.
All
Yep,
right.
yep.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Shane, we still got a caller waiting, so if you can handle that, we'll be right back. 13 minutes till the top of the hour. It's Tuesday, September 17th. We've got a caller patiently waiting on the phone, Shane, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, welcome to the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Yeah, it's Frank calling. Just wanted to, I was talking to Shane about this doctor in Illinois that had passed away, and they went through his house. They found, I think it was somewhere around 2,224 remains of aborted babies.
Wow.
Hey, yeah, you're not hearing that on the mainstream news, are you?
No, we're not.
Yeah,
Dr. Ehrlich Klopfer. Dr. Ehrlich Klopfer.
Yeah, and just so all the liberals out there, we know they're listening because they're constantly texting in. Them are future Democrat voters. They're Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Most right-wing Christian Republicans don't abort their young. So the Democrats are aborting their young. Therefore, we have to import voters from all over the world. That's just one psycho doctor's house, 2,224 babies.
Wow.
They caught these people, some of them, trying to burn the babies out in some farmer's field. Another guy was caught burying medical waste. The medical waste was the baby bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd bring that to your attention, something you don't hear in the mainstream media.
No, that we did. That's for sure. Well, hey, thanks. Yep. We appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
You betcha. Have a good one.
All right. Well, Shane, as we pointed out many times, the black used to be the number one minority, and now they've been passed by Hispanics, and the main reason is abortion. That
absolutely, 61.5 million abortions since Roe versus Wade in 1973. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of that, sadly, 18.5 million African American babies gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like how serious? That's like 20%. 20%, over 20% of the abortions since Roe versus Wade were African American children. Wow, very sad, very sad. An entire generation. Think about it. 2 generations.
Yeah. Well, at least, yeah, because they would have grown up to be. But what they're seem to be missing is that that person might be a city councilman or a senator or a representative or state senator or governor or whatever. That's going to increase their value in the economic and political system.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
All right,
and your president's doing something about it and giving the people in the inner cities. And that's the last bastion of the Democratic Party, or they're a regional party in the inner cities. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, the opportunity zones and things like that we're doing. So let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Well, good morning, Tom and Shane.
Hey, how you doing, Pete?
I'm doing good. They want us to sell our guns back to the government. I don't know who they're going to sell them back to that can pass a background check.
I was going to say, yeah, we've mentioned that.
Oh, come on, Pete. I wanted you to call in and talk about Admiral Forrestal and UFOs.
UFO. I don't know where that came from, Shane, but
I don't know either.
Put it back.
All right.
He's off his meds today.
Yeah, I forgot to take them, yeah.
And on meds the problem. Maybe we should be watching you closer, Shane.
Yeah.
They came on, they said that 90% of these shooters are on SSRI drugs, and the reason they don't have any information on the other 10% is because it hasn't been made public.
Yeah.
In the last century, and the numbers are all over the place, but somewhere between 2 million and 260 million people were murdered, and we got a new word out of that, democide, by their government after they were disarmed. Maybe we should ask the Australians how they feel about their gun laws.
Yeah.
I don't think they learn. Yeah. And I'll end you with this. Donald J. Trump has put more pedophiles behind bars than all the previous presidents put together. And it's not just in this country. They're getting busted all over the place. And Epstein was just number 2 in the list. I think Jimmy Savile was number 1. Yeah. And that goes way back, and that was a nasty mess. Yeah. And we don't know just how nasty the mess is with
you go back to Sandusky, too. There's another one.
Right, Sandusky. And now you got this case in California where they admitted they're selling live babies to Stanford and MIT for research, and body parts.
All right.
Now,
I love that.
Well, if you think about that, that's murder.
I would say so, yeah.
Because they're whether they survived an abortion or not, what's keep them from telling the mother who says, I want the child put up for adoption, I don't want the child killed. Yeah. They can tell her anything. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yep, we're going to put your kid up for adoption, and that's it. That's the last you hear about it. And this guy with all the body parts is another atrocity.
Yeah.
I mean, the moral compass is not broken; it's smashed in this country.
Gotta go, Pete.
Okie dokie. Have a lovely day.
You too. Thanks for sharing us up here on a Tuesday. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Jay, we got a caller waiting, and we'll be right back after the Rush update. And here's Rush. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, we've had a caller patiently waiting. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
It was Connor. He wanted to make that the African-American community also has had. The problem the African community has had also is that once the government provides you a meal and another meal's coming, why go get work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a thing.
All right. From our text line, 478-8298, things liberals are for: boys using the girls' bathroom, banning free speech from conservatives, teaching socialism and LGBT as appropriate lifestyles. Things Democrats are against: chocolate milk in schools, straws. Yeah, Democrats definitely have their priorities in order.
That was good. Yeah,
that was a good one, yeah.
Little humor for the end of the show. Good Tuesday show, Eagle Man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's been terrific.
Yeah. Let's see. Your conspiracy kook callers are out of touch and they vote.
Right. We haven't had a single conspiracy caller today, so there's a misinterpretation gone wrong.
Switzerland and Norway, I believe, have more guns per person than the U.S., and they're all military weapons. It's mandatory to have them and practice with them.
True.
Instead of depending on Trump psychopaths like Shane and Hannity, Republicans should read the Mueller report themselves. It's well documented, reveals so much, and you won't turn you into a liberal. It's like people are afraid to learn the Trump regime really is corrupt.
Well, that's a total misrepresentation because I've read the entire Mueller report.
Mm-hmm. You have, yeah. So.
And it doesn't say anything what that person said. Nothing.
Fox News Radio reported Trump is raising millions at a luncheon. Big corporate donors won't expect anything in return. Nah, he cares about us. I believe the Limbaugh Institute for Conservative Studies. He's no longer conservative. He's all about bashing leftists. And again, we're not liberals. We are conservatives angry at Trump, corruption of the GOP. The ignorance of Trump supporters is evident, and they don't know that true conservatives were not fooled by Trump lies and liberal policies. Well, if you're a conservative, I feel sorry for you looking at the 10 people you're going to have to vote for. So
yeah, exactly.
If you're not going to vote for, I'm going to say that should be an automatic vote for Trump, no matter what. Say goodbye, Shane.
Goodbye, Mayor. We'll talk tomorrow. Be happy, be safe, and God bless.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. Also, hey, don't forget football tickets. Go to your app chat, AM 1450 KMMS, and text the word touchdown to us, and we'll get you in the drawing for free football tickets. And we'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m.